Today we're going to talk about the Talaria Sting MX4. Maybe you like electric bikes as much as I do, but I know you don't, so it's a lie. It's a lie. Don't kid yourself about how much you like electric bikes. It's probably not as much as me. How many do you have? All right, this isn't a bike measuring contest here, but I do kind of have a few. As a matter of fact, I can see 3 of them over there, and there's one hanging up over there, there's one over there, and then I have all the ones in my house. I have a few. But by far, the one that I use the most and the one that I have enjoyed the most over the years is the Talaria, the MX4 that, I don't know, came out maybe a couple years ago by now. Got it from Lunicycle. It looks like currently they are going for $4,200, normally listed at $4,500 a piece. And it is a piece of machinery. It's some equipment, all right. So I went from the Sur Rons. I had a few different Sur Rons, and now I'm on the Talaria. I sold the Sur Rons to my friends so I still keep an eye on them. I still ride them here and there when we go out. You know, we kind of switch off. And there was a few things at first that I thought with the Talaria that were going to be true. One of them was that the gearbox is louder than the primary belt drive stage that the Sur Ron has. And I think a few of the Talarias may have that. They're lower cost, like XXX maybe. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments about it. I might like bikes a lot, but I don't remember all the information in my head at all points in time. So I thought, belt drive quieter than gear drive, right? Some of y'all in the comments said, no, that's not how it is. Just wait a little bit until your gearbox wears in. And indeed, the gearbox is now worn in and it is far quieter than those belt drives. The belt drives have a whine to them. Not only that, you get out into the wet and the muck and the dirt and rocks and things, and as soon as you get some mud or some rocks splashed up in those belt drives, they're toast. You're gonna munch a belt, you're gonna screw up your pulleys. It's just not really well suited for off-road. And so there's this whole aftermarket with the Sur Rons where you can get where you can convert your belt to either a chain drive. Well, I guess that's really the only option, is you convert your belt to a chain drive. And those are kind of noisy because you got the chain slap going on. And not really something that you can adjust very well. You gotta have like an idler pulley, that's even more noise. So I thought that the belt drive was going to be quieter, and it turns out that the Talaria's gearbox, once it breaks in, which is about 500 miles, honestly mine was quieter at about 200 miles, but past 500 miles, absolutely, all day long, the Talaria is actually quieter, and that's amazing. And what I mostly hear now is the noise on the road of my tires slapping pavement, because I need to pump them up. But they're also knobbies, and I ride a lot of pavement. I use it for getting in between my locations. It's fantastic in the 30-mile-an-hour mode as a 30-mile-an-hour scooter for Missouri. It falls within the regulations of 3 brake horsepower and 30 miles an hour when you put it in that low speed mode. So I drive it around just like that, and it is fantastic. And it still accelerates faster than my Honda Ruckus does. The Ruckus is not bad. I get it out every now and then just to make sure that it doesn't go bad. And you know, because the gas will sit in the bowl and evaporate and you end up having a gummed up carburetor. No fun for any bike, of course. But what I usually pull out is the Talaria. It's what I prefer to ride. I really like the geometry of it. And although I can't exactly ride hands-free with the geometry of the Talaria, it is not nearly as nimble as the Sur Rons are. I have figured out if I sit really far forwards, then I get enough weight on the front and it handles like I want. So it was a little bit of a learning experience going from the Sur Ron to the Talaria, but overall, if I was going to buy another bike these days, it would not be a Sur Ron. It would be the MX4. Definitely, all day long. Now, the other Talaria models, I'm not so sure about. The XXX in particular, that one doesn't have the replaceable battery. Not that I ever use the replaceable battery feature on there, but if something goes wrong, it's just a quick switch. It's really easy, super, super easy. But I don't need to because it's a 45 amp hour pack. So, I mean, I go out and I've never once actually gotten to the point to where I wore the pack out without wearing my body out first. So go out to the family farm, ride around. After about an hour or so, my arms are pretty much toast. And maybe this is a skill issue on my behalf. I'm sure there's plenty of riders that are more extreme than me that can just absolutely drain that pack and still have lots of life left in themselves, but it's not me. I go out riding and I either get bored or I get tired first. And then riding around town, sure, if I'm using it for commuting a lot during the day, but I'm not riding more than 30 miles or so, and it's good for that on a charge. So it does exactly what I need it to do. So between the on-road riding and the off-road riding, I've really got nothing to complain about. Maybe, I don't know, the seat could have padding that was shaped to my butt better or something. It's a small gripe. It's not uncomfortable to ride. I'm sure there are more comfortable seats out there, but as far as an off-road bike, it's always going to be a compromise of the seat shape being easy to slide your weight back and forth and being able to get over the back far enough so that you don't go over the handlebars if you're going down a steep one, or being comfortable enough when you're just sitting, on pavement. It's going to be more wide. You're not going to have room to move your hips through the seat or move the seat through your hips. You know what I mean? Y'all hopefully know what I mean. So there's always those sorts of compromises. Now, changes that I do, I think I may have thrown some riser bars on there. We can do a future video where I go out and I ride and I just talk about things as well. If y'all want to see that, let me know in the comments. Generally, I just like to talk here because it's a lot easier for me to get my thoughts out versus trying to video and record and do all the editing and everything on an action sort of video. So we typically do stuff in here. But if you want some action videos, we'll do our best to get to it if that would be interesting for you. Although I'm not going to be doing anything like Sur Ron. There's not going to be any wheelies. I'm not going to be doing any big jumps. So I don't know how interesting they're actually going to be because I'm not an extreme rider. Not anymore, at least. When I was young, yeah, sure. But as I got older, I do have kids. I have to support people. If I get injured, it could really impact not only my life, but a lot of other lives. So I don't really jump like I used to. I don't do nose wheelies like I used to. I'm sorry, stoppies. Y'all call them stoppies these days instead of nose wheelies. I don't do wheelies like I used to. That was one of my favorite things. Now on a bicycle, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But back in the day, when I was younger, on a motorcycle, I definitely loved to do some wheelies and stoppies. But these days, maybe not so much anymore. 20 years younger me, yeah, I'd be doing it on camera for you, but I need to be a little more careful about that because I don't bounce like I used to. As a matter of fact, I don't bounce at all when I hit pavement anymore. So we're gonna try to just not hit the pavement. There you go. Talaria MX4. 2 huge thumbs up for me. Absolutely loving to ride it, putting miles on it all the time. When the weather's good, I ride it. When the weather's bad, I still ride it. And everything seems to be holding up great so far. Maybe I'll need brakes soon. Who knows? But there's actually, I've got it set to where it will give me regen brakes on there. And as long as you do that enough time in advance before you stop, I really don't have to use the brakes. So they don't wear very much either. Another thing that I like about the Talaria, the regen brakes. So if you do have any questions, leave them down below. We'll do our best to get to them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. You've made it to the end of the video. Hopefully that means you liked what you saw. If you want to help out the channel, you can like, subscribe, and definitely comment down below. We would like to hear new ideas from you, so be sure you let us know what you'd like to see. There are some other suggestions probably floating by my head right now that you can check out, and otherwise we appreciate your support and your help growing the channel.